Mayor Kumas, members of council, I'm Jim Golden, the city's Director of Finance. This is one of our tape presentations of our priority-based budgeting updates. Priority-based budgeting is an approach to budgeting that we've undertaken over the last few years that evaluates our city programs against the desired results that were identified by the City Council, as well as some key program attributes that are a part of priority-based budgeting. The desired results that were identified by the City Council for the organization for community programs were vibrant amenities and opportunities for all, safe community, a reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure, and thriving economic climate. And on this slide, you could see the weighting that was applied to these four desired results by our community through community input that was gathered in 2014. The desired results for governance programs were also identified by the City Council, and they include ensuring timely, responsive, and efficient operations, supporting city operations to be their best, providing clear, inclusive, transparent leadership and collaboration, and developing and maintaining strong partnerships, following local, state, and federal rules, regulations, and mandates, protecting, investing in, and valuing the city's human and physical capital, and prudently managing and responsibly leveraging public funds. Besides these desired results, all of the city's programs are measured against program attributes. And the priority-based budgeting program attributes were identified by the Center for Priority-Based Budgeting that pioneered this approach. The attributes that are used include the mandate to provide a program, reliance on the city to provide the program, the cost recovery of the program, and the portion of the community that is served by the program. So each of our programs are measured against each of these four attributes, as well as their ability to impact the desired results. We have, citywide, we have 1,244 programs that have been identified in this process. 527 of those are in the general fund. And then within those 1,244, we have 737 distinct programs. So we have a number of programs that are offered in multiple areas of the city, different funds as well as divisions and departments. So there is some repetition, but overall there's 737 distinct programs. Also, these 1,244 programs can be broken down that 1,082 of them are community-oriented, while the remaining 162 are governance-type programs. After all the programs are scored against the desired results and the attributes, they are then given an overall score, and they are then placed in quartiles, quartile 1 through 4, with the highest scoring programs placed in the first quartile and the lowest scoring programs placed in the fourth quartile. And they are placed across these four quartiles through a process of standard deviation. So what we're doing is we have been presenting priority-based budgeting updates to the council. We did our first 3 in person. We're taping the balance of the remaining 10 presentations. And so you'll be getting 10 different priority-based budgeting updates taped delivered to you. We have focused on 3 of the attributes through the presentations that we made to the council. The remaining updates will be on the last attribute and the 9 desired results that were identified. And we'll go through, take each of the updates, we'll go through how each program is influencing the attributes or the results. So this is priority-based budgeting update number 7. This is the desired result: reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure. This desired result was the 3rd highest weighted of the 4 desired results, with a weighting of 25.3% from the community when we did our weightings in 2014. So City Council identified these 4 result definitions to help define how programs can influence the desired result of reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure. So these 4 are planning and maintenance of our high-quality utility services are balanced with appropriate costs citywide. The transportation system is safe, affordable, and accessible, connected locally and regionally by a variety of modes. Third definition is we preserve, protect, and enhance the natural environment. And then fourth is we promote and practice responsible conservation and recycling. So program scoring against this result measures whether a program, an individual program, influences these 4 results and to what degree it impacts the successful accomplishment of the overall desired result of a reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure. So again, our programs are scored from 0 to 4 based on their influence on the desired result. The highest score that a program can attain is a 4, which indicates that a program has an essential critical role in achieving the result. And then what that means is that it would be really extremely difficult, if not impossible, for the city to achieve the overall desired result of, in this case, reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure if this individual program was not offered by the city. A score of 3 indicates that program has a strong influence on achieving the desired result. A score of 2 shows that a program has some degree of influence on achieving the result. A 1 indicates that a program has a minimal influence on achieving the result. And in the case of a minimal influence, it means that the city could most likely still achieve the overall result even if the individual program was not offered by the city. And then finally, a score of 0 is where a program has no influence at all on achieving the desired result. Okay, so this here is our overall summary. It's breaking down the city's organizational structure and showing how the programs by each department or office influence the overall result. So we have 1,082 community-oriented programs in the city with an overall budget for those programs of $162.5 million. And you can see on this chart in the last column, in the shaded column, all of the totals by each of the department or offices that they have in the amount of the programs and the amount of dollars for those programs, all totaling the 1,082 programs down here at the bottom in the $162.5 million of budget. So beginning in the first column on the left and first concentrating on the number of programs, we find that in the first category of where a program is essential to the result of reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure, the most programs we find are 81 programs from Public Works and Natural Resources. Again, Public Works and Natural Resources is our largest department, has almost half of our community-oriented programs at 516 programs, so they are naturally will be one of the leading providers of programs, and particularly in the category of infrastructure. They also have 80 programs in Public Works and Natural Resources that have a strong influence on the result of reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure, and 194 programs that have some level of influence on that desired result. And again, we find 105 programs in Public Works and Natural Resources that have some influence, though minimal influence, on the desired result. So again, it's natural that we would find many programs in Public Works and Natural Resources that deal with infrastructure, since our overall structure of the organization is designed that way. And then finally, where programs have no influence on that desired result, Community Services has the most amount of programs at 201 programs that have no influence on the infrastructure result. I'm looking now at the cost of programs and going back to the first column again on the dollars, the total dollars that have the most influence or are essential to the desired result. We have $57.8 million in power and communications. Of course, that's where we find the purchase power program and the largest dollar costing program in the city. So that is, of course, the leading provider of programs that, or dollar amounts for programs that are essential to that desired result. Programs having a strong influence on the result, getting back to public works and natural resources, $7.65 million of programs that have a strong influence. And then moving into some influence, again, PWNR, $11.8 million of programs. And then where programs have some influence on the result, though minimal, almost $11 million of programs in public safety that have some influence on the desired result of infrastructure. And then finally, programs that have no influence on the result, we have $23.67 million, again, in public safety, largest source of dollars that have no influence on the desired result. Okay, so the general fund, we're going to look now at the general fund alone. General fund has 406 community-oriented programs at a total budget of $51.75 million. And so what we're going to do is look at how those are categorized by their influence on the reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure result. What we're going to do is look at some snapshots of the resource alignment diagnostic tool. And so, again, now we're looking at the resource alignment diagnostic tool, and what this is showing us is those programs that have that they're essential to achieving the result of reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure from the general fund. Now, not a lot of infrastructure programs that will be found in the general fund. That's not the typical nature of the general fund. So you're not going to find a lot of programs that are essential. So, and by the way, you can follow this snapshot on page 11 of the prioritization update that you received with this presentation. And so this snapshot is, again, the essential programs. There's 12 programs from the general fund. $898,000 of budget, which is really only 1.7% of the general fund's community-oriented program budget. All of these 12 programs happen to be found in the first quartile, which is shown here on the graph. There are none falling in any other quartile. So now I'm going to move to the filter and move to the next category. All right, so now we are looking at programs that have a strong influence on the infrastructure desired result. And again, we are finding this did not change. Because I changed the wrong filter. All right, that should do it. All right, so now we're better. Okay, again, looking at programs that have a strong influence on the infrastructure desired result from the general fund. We only have 4 programs at $189,000. All of them are category quartile 1 programs, and it's really just 0.36%, way less than 1%, about a third of 1% of the overall budget in the general fund for community-oriented programs.
You find that snapshot on page 12 of your update. And now I will move to the next filter. Make sure I did that right. Okay, so now we're looking at programs that have some influence on the desired result of reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure from the general fund. We have 34 programs, $2.44 million. That's 4.7% of the general fund overall budget for community-oriented programs. 922,000 of those programs, which is 11 programs, are from quartile 1. $1.4 million of those programs for 13 programs in quartile 2. $99,000 for 9 programs in quartile 3, and then we have 1 program at $9,000 in quartile 4. Now moving into the next ranking of a score of a 1, which is for those programs that have some minimal influence on the desired result. This again is from the general fund. Community-oriented programs, we have 64 programs at $11.66 million, 22.5% of the budget for general fund community-oriented programs. Find on the graph that we have $10.2 million that fall into quartile 1. That's for 34 individual programs. Quartile 2 is a little over $500,000 for 9 programs. Quartile 3, $862,000 for 19 programs. And then we have a small amount of $11,000 for 2 programs that fall into quartile 4. And now finally the last category is a score of 0, which is where the programs have no influence on the desired result of reliable and innovative and resilient infrastructure. So now you see we have 292 of the 406 community-oriented programs in the general fund have no influence on the desired result of infrastructure. $36.5 million of the community-oriented budget, that's 70.6% of it. A large amount of dollars that fall into this category of having no influence. $12.2 million of quartile 1 programs, $17.2 million of quartile 2 programs, that's 104 programs in there. $6.3 million in quartile 3 for 120 programs, and then $810,000 in the 4th quartile, 20 more programs there. So in the case of infrastructure, the desired result for infrastructure, in the last 2 categories here, we have 87.6% of the general fund community-oriented programs, 356 programs out of 406 that really have no influence or minimal influence on the desired result of reliable, innovative, and resilient infrastructure. That is also $48.1 million or 93.1% of the overall budget for community-oriented programs. So again, we do not find a lot of programs within the general fund that have much influence on this desired result. So I'm going to move back to my PowerPoint. All right, so, sorry about that. So now we're back and looking at your report. You've got two lists behind the snapshots of the RAD tool, one for general fund programs and one for all the other funds. They are listed and sorted by the desired result first, and then they go by department and division, and finally by the quartile, highest being 1, lowest being 4. So for the desired result for infrastructure, I want to bring your attention back to the results definitions that I identified earlier on. And one of those 4 was the result definition of we preserve, protect, and enhance the natural environment. So staff did identify a concern with that when they went through the scoring for for all of our programs last year. While this incorporates programs that provide maintenance for the natural environment, such as open space type programs, it doesn't address those programs that have maintenance for the built environment. Programs that provide maintenance to our developed park systems, they do not have a score to influence this desired result because of the way we're defining it. So what we wanted to ask the council to consider is whether or not they should consider changing that result definition to including new wording, so that would now read that we preserve, protect, and enhance the natural and built environment. So by inserting and including the words "and built" into this definition, it would then incorporate those programs that do provide maintenance to our park systems that are developed. So this was not something that was openly discussed when we identified the results definitions early on in 2014, but it did come to our attention as we were scoring the programs. We did continue to score the programs as they were defined, but thought before we move forward in 2015 to score any more programs, that we should check in with the council and make sure whether or not they thought that we should change those definitions to include the "and built" words to address the built environment that would address our developed park systems. So we'll discuss that with council at an upcoming council meeting to get your direction in that regard. So now if you have any other questions on any of the information that I've provided today or within the report or on any of the individual programs and how they influence the desired result of infrastructure, feel free to contact me. You can contact me by phone at 303-651-8629, or else you can reach me by email at jim.golden@longmontcolorado.gov. Thanks very much.